life was sweet for Police Commissioner Big Bill Mackay as well. After surviving in his career thus far, he was, like Hollywood, in a generous mood. He removed the ban on bushranger movies. A perfect moment for a new Ned Kelly flick. And who better to make it than a couple of outlaws? Ruth and Alma went straight to Benalla, right in the heart of Kelly country.
The greatest asset a country has are its legends and yarns. Now, the Ned Kelly theme will be a sensational movie. You can't get a more Australian story than this one.
They plan to raise the finances for their new film from descendants of Ned Kelly still living in the area. They had no idea what they were about to unleash.
It was a pretty big time when Kathner's coming to Benalla to make this movie about Ned Kelly. They stayed at my grandmother Noonan's commercial hotel, and Rupert Kathner, I think, wasn't a bad artist, and he painted a fair few watercolours. Because Rupert was never seen shouting at the bar and was probably pretty well short of money, these were probably thank yous to my grandmother for not paying any lodging at the hotel. Two of my uncles, Bill and Ben Crow, were given parts in the movie, hence a lot of that movie was made on my other grandmother's property at Tattong.
We were lucky to be picked as film stars. I was one of the policemen chasing the Kellys.
They were unable to afford a lead actress. No problem. Alma played Kate Kelly.
Is there a law against selling horses?
There is, to bushrangers.
Why don't you chaps leave respectable people alone?
Well, Ned Kelly was played by Bob Chitty, who was probably the toughest footballer that played Australian rules football. I'm not quite certain that he would have got paid the full £25, but I bet he had a hell of a lot of fun making the movie.
Now get. I'll give you 10 minutes to get clear.
Lonigan and McIntyre.
You're camped at Wombat Creek?
Yes, sir. It's the heart of the Kelly country.
Some actors were sacked and others were picked up. I would say probably the Crow boys were picked up because, well, they had the horses, they're great horsemen. So they probably cost nothing either.
Rupert approached me to do some stunts. He asked me to, well, I do a few falls, or which I did. They put me in an 1850 type policeman's uniform. I did 27 characters in that. That's me. That's me. That's me getting shot. That's me getting shot. Again, and again, and again.
The actors weren't the only ones being shot at. Roof himself came under fire for making the film, and in particular from some of those still loyal to Ned Kelly.
I heard that he was shot at when he was making the Glenrowan Affair up in Benalla by somebody who obviously didn't want the Kelly gang story to be told.
Come on, boys, the drinks are on the Kellys tonight.
I wondered what their reason was behind it, because it portrayed Ned Kelly as a sort of patriot.
I'm sorry to hear it. Have you had the doctor yet?
Doesn't paint Ned Kelly as a monster, and I see it as a very sympathetic telling of the story.
Well, you'd better go home, Goa.
Don't be a fool, Ned. Make him stay like the rest of us.
I said he can go.
After they'd been shot at, Rupert and Alma hightailed it to the back blocks north of Benalla to find new actors and money to finish the film.
Making a movie is at times war. Such is the arduous road to fame. Don't weaken. Utilise flexibility. Move sideways and push onwards.
A lot of the money was raised in the local pub, and particularly when people used to get drunk. It was easy to raise money then. Alma was quite attractive. So she used to get onto the cow cockies that were loaded with a bit of dough and con them into giving her money. She used to play around a bit. Yeah, she used to get the young fellas in. The ones that coughed up the money got a part in the picture. He used a hell of a lot of different Ned Kellys.
I said, Rupert, what's this business of Kelly's changing all the time? I said, one minute he's tall, next week he's short, and next week he's fat and thin. I said, you can't do this. Oh, I said, you just put a beard on him, you just put a beard on anyone, and they can't tell the difference.
It wasn't long before their dodgy business dealings were exposed.
We wish to draw your attention to a Mr. Rupert Kathner, who is here with a Mrs. Kathner, whom we believe is one Al Brooks, who acts as a decoy for possible investors in his phony film ventures. Kathner is well known as a crook by day and a fly by night.
Word got around that 2 detectives were sent out to arrest Roop on fraud charges. This time it was serious. His goose was well and truly cooked.
Mr. Kathner, anything to say in your defence?
Your Honour, the motion picture is a powerful weapon. With the right subject, it can educate a child, record life and death, retain for future generations events of today that 10 million words can't do justice to. It can open up a country, attract tourists, and a million other things not yet dreamed of. And someday a real statesman will recognise that it's just the kind of thing that we need to show the people of this country about ourselves. Not only this country, but the world. And at the risk of being held down, I can say that 96% of people in this country don't know anything about it. Why, we have the greatest stories here, equal to any. And many of them remain untold. All I'm guilty of is trying to bring our stories to the screens of the world.
The judge heard the case and commented that this man was trying his very best, and it's a shame that he should be persecuted like he is. And eventually, the judge himself put finance into Roop's picture.
The Glenrowan Affair was released in 1951, a world premiere. This was Roop and Alma's moment. It was the only Australian feature released that year, and the eyes of the whole country were on it.
Get me if that's what you want! It's me, Ned Kelly! Any showed more courage than you, sulking dingo! You want to send me to hell? Well, if I'm going, I'm taking some of you with me! Hard his legs! Shoot me if you can, but you can't! You can't, do you hear? I'll get some of you yet! You want to...
The film critics hated it. They said it would put the Australian film industry back 10 years. What were they talking about? There was no film industry left. It took 4 years to make, and it was over in a week. They had one more screening in Benalla. They'd promised to show it to the town, and Rupert and Alma kept that promise, despite the threats. Gutsy thing to do, given the town was out for their blood. They didn't know it then, but this was to be their last movie premiere. The story was going around that the Kellys were going to break up the show. Police were positioned inside the cinema in case a riot broke out. But the opposite happened. It was an outstanding success.
Oh, yes. It's been shown in Benalla twice. When it was first made, it was shown there. The opening of it, and as it was crowded out, put our name on the map. And a lot of the money went to charity for the bush firefighters. We all felt terrific.